Hello, everyone. Today, we're going to learn the past perfect tense, an important part of English grammar that helps us talk about events that happened before another event in the past. When we tell stories or describe past experiences, we often need to explain which action happened first. The past perfect tense helps us do this clearly and accurately. Imagine that you arrived at the station and discovered that the train had already left. In this situation, there are two past actions. The train left, and then you arrived. To show that the train left first, we use the past perfect tense and say, "The train had left before I arrived." This makes the order of events easy to understand. The past perfect tense is formed using had plus past participle, verb 3. For example, I had finished my homework, she had gone home, and they had completed the project. No matter what the subject is, we always use had. This makes the tense simple to learn and use. We often use the past perfect tense with words and phrases such as before, after, by the time, already, never, and when. These expressions help us connect two past actions and show which one happened first. For example, she had finished her work before the meeting started, or by the time we arrived, the movie had begun. Learning the past perfect tense will improve your ability to tell stories, explain experiences, and describe sequences of events. It helps make your speaking and writing more organized, clear, and natural. As we go through this lesson, pay attention to how the past perfect connects two actions in the past and helps listeners understand the correct order of events. The past perfect tense is used to talk about an action that happened before another action in the past. It helps us show the order of two past events. In simple words, the past perfect tells us which action happened first and which action happened later. This tense is very useful when telling stories, describing past experiences, and explaining a sequence of events. The structure of the past perfect tense is subject plus had plus past participle, verb 3. The word had is used with all subjects. I had, you had, he had, she had, it had, we had, they had. Examples. I had finished my homework before dinner. She had left before I arrived. They had completed the project before the deadline. We had eaten lunch before the meeting started. He had gone home before it began to rain. In each sentence, the past perfect action happened first. 1. An action that happened before another action in the past. This is the most common use of the past perfect tense. Examples. I had eaten breakfast before I went to school. She had finished her work before her boss arrived. They had cleaned the classroom before the students came in. We had left the office before the storm started. He had studied English before he moved abroad. Timeline. First action, past perfect. Second action, past simple. Example. I had finished my homework before I watched TV. 2. To show the order of past events. The past perfect makes it clear which action happened first. Examples. After she had locked the door, she left the house. After they had completed the report, they submitted it. After we had eaten dinner, we watched a movie. After he had saved enough money, he bought a car. After I had packed my suitcase, I went to the airport. Without the past perfect, the order may be confusing. 3. To describe past experiences before a certain time. We use the past perfect to talk about experiences that happened before another point in the past. Examples. I had never seen snow before I visited Canada. She had never flown on an airplane before that trip. They had never tried sushi before they went to Japan. We had never met before the conference. He had never spoken English before joining the course. 4. Reported speech. The past perfect is often used in reported speech when talking about something that was already in the past. Direct speech. She said, I finished my work. Reported speech. She said that she had finished her work. More examples. He said that he had seen the movie. They told us they had arrived safely. She explained that she had completed the assignment. 5. The third conditional, imaginary past situations. The past perfect is used when talking about unreal situations in the past. Examples. If I had studied harder, I would have passed the exam. If she had left earlier, she would have caught the bus. If they had listened carefully, they would have understood. If we had saved more money, we would have bought a bigger house. If he had practiced more, he would have won the competition. Positive sentences. Structure. Subject plus had plus past participle. Examples. I had finished my homework. She had written the report. We had completed the project. They had visited the museum. He had learned English. Negative sentences. Structure. Subject plus had not plus past participle. Examples. I had not finished my homework. She had not arrived yet. We had not completed the task. They had not seen the movie. He had not eaten breakfast. Contraction. Hadn't equal had not. Examples. I hadn't finished my work. She hadn't called me. They hadn't arrived on time. Question sentences. Structure. Had plus subject plus past participle. Examples. Had you finished your homework? Had she arrived before the meeting? Had they completed the project? Had he eaten lunch? Had we met before? Short answers. Yes, I had. No, I hadn't. Yes, she had. No, she hadn't. Common time expressions. The past perfect is often used with before, after, by the time, already, never, yet, when, until then. Examples. By the time I arrived, she had left. They had already eaten when I got there. He had never seen the ocean before that trip. We had finished the work before the deadline. Past simple versus past perfect. Past simple. Used for a completed action in the past. I watched a movie yesterday. She visited her grandmother last week. Past perfect. Used for an action that happened before another past action. I had watched the movie before my friend recommended it. She had visited her grandmother before moving to another city. Compare. Past simple. I arrived at the station. The train left. Past perfect. The train had left before I arrived at the station. The past perfect clearly shows that the train left first. More example sentences. I had studied English before I started university. She had completed the report before the meeting began. We had finished dinner before the guests arrived. They had saved money before buying a new house. He had repaired the car before the trip. The teacher had prepared the lesson before class started. The students had completed their assignments before the deadline. My parents had traveled to many countries before they retired. The rain had stopped before we left the house. The company had launched the product before its competitors. Conclusion. The past perfect tense is used to describe an action that happened before another action in the past. It helps us show the correct order of events and makes our speaking and writing clearer. The formula is subject plus had plus past participle, verb 3. We often use it with words such as before, after, by the time, already, and when. For example, I had finished my homework before I watched TV. She had left before I arrived. And they had completed the project before the deadline. By learning the past perfect tense, you will be able to tell stories more effectively, describe past experiences accurately, and express the sequence of events with confidence. The more you practice, the more natural this tense will become in your everyday English communication. The past perfect tense is a useful tense that helps us describe an action that happened before another action in the past. It allows us to show the sequence of events clearly and avoid confusion when talking about multiple past actions. The structure is simple. Subject plus had plus past participle, verb 3. Once you understand this formula, you can easily use the past perfect tense in both speaking and writing. Throughout this lesson, we learned that the past perfect tense is commonly used to show which action happened first, to describe past experiences, and to tell stories more effectively. For example, I had finished my homework before I watched TV. She had left before I arrived, and they had completed the project before the deadline. In each sentence, the past perfect action happened first. Remember that learning grammar takes practice. Try creating your own sentences using the past perfect tense and words such as before, after, by the time, and already. You can write about your daily experiences, memorable events, or even stories from books and movies. The more you practice, the more confident you will become. Keep studying, keep practicing, and do not be afraid to make mistakes. Every mistake is an opportunity to learn and improve. With time and effort, you will be able to use the past perfect tense naturally and accurately in everyday English. Happy learning, and continue your journey toward becoming a confident English speaker.